Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got another LEGO set review for you today. This one's relatively new to the collection and it's the LEGO Marvel Thor vs Surtur. Set number is 76289, so let's jump on in. Starting off with the minifigures that we get in the set then. First up, here's Thor in his Thor Ragnarok appearance from the start of the movie. So as you can see, he's got his nice red flowing cape and then just that sort of light armour that he wears in that opening section of the film, and he does still have his long hair. This cape piece is one of those soft plastic, sort of rubbery style plastic pieces. It's not the cloth goods, but it's quite nice. Yeah, it's the first time I've actually got this piece, and it does just clip around the neck there, so it is quite easy to remove it if you want to. Getting a better look at Thor's face then. They have just reused the Endgame Thor face from that new Asgard set, that sort of chunkiness to his face, so it does look a little bit off compared to how he looks in Ragnarok, but overall it's not too bad. And then they've just reused that same hair piece that they've been using for quite a while now on these Thor figures. It's just a fairly common LEGO hair piece. We do get a double-sided face, so you can have him with his lightning eyes as well, which sort of plays into the set a little bit later on, which I'll show you some of the play features. In terms of printing, we just get this nice looking chest plate here with his belt and his little strap that goes around his chest. On the front there's no leg printing, and then there's just a little bit of a continuation around the back of that armour. So that's Thor. He does come with Mjolnir as his accessory, and it's just the standard Mjolnir hammer piece that they've been using for, again, like I said, quite a while, since some of those early Marvel superheroes sets. So that's Mjolnir. It does just clip into his hand, as it is just on a bar piece, like so. And then also included is this relatively new lightning bolt piece, which just has one of those Technic connectors on the end of it. And what you can do, you can just put the hammer in that piece like that, and then it gives you just enough room at the bottom for the minifigure to be able to hold on to it, so you can make it look like he's firing some lightning out of his hammer, which looks pretty cool. And again, that sort of plays into some of the play features with the set, which I'll show you later on. So that's Thor. The two remaining minifigures that are in the set are just these black skeletons. They are both exactly the same, and they're just intended to represent some of those fire demons that Thor ends up fighting in that early stage of the film. They do have this exclusive head print. It's just printed on a black minifigure head, and then popped onto a black skeleton body, looking pretty cool. And they do also have some printing on the back of the heads as well, just a little bit of sort of molten flame detailing there, again looking pretty cool. And yeah, these two are just sort of expendable characters really for you to hack and slash. So that's those. Just bringing in Thor again. He does come with a couple of other additional pieces that you can use. So if you want this lightning piece attached to Mjolnir, obviously it doesn't stand up very well on his own with that piece attached. So what you can do is you can use this clear stand dish piece that they give you, and you can have Thor stood on there, and then as you can see, that perfectly balances it out now, so he's not going to fall over. And then another piece that they include is, it's a relatively new piece. It's this transparent clear curved bar with it's got double studs on the end of it here, and then this end has one of those axle Technic connections on it. So what you can do with this is they also give you these two pieces as well. I'll show you that one and how that works later on with the Surtur figure. But as for this piece here, what you can do is you can attach it to the end of that there. And then you can take the Mjolnir hammer piece and you can plug that into there. And then what they suggest on the box is you sort of clip this clear piece into Thor's hand like that. And that sort of creates the effect of Mjolnir flying back to Thor, or sort of makes it look like he's just thrown it. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. But yeah, it's quite an interesting little thing to do if you want to do it. It adds to the displayability. Moving on to the main build of the set then. Here we have Surtur in all his ashen, molten glory. Looking really badass. Doesn't look exactly as he appears in the film, but they've sort of taken their own little creative license on it a little bit. But he's still quite a cool little buildable figure. And there's a couple of different play features that are included, which I'll show you. He is using the Eternals head mold, but it does have an exclusive print on there for that face. As I said, he doesn't appear exactly as he does in the film. He's more of like a stone grey colour in the actual film, whereas obviously Lego have opted to go with black here as the primary colour. But yeah, he still looks quite awesome. He's got all these flames coming out of him. He's got this massive flame sword as well, which he wields to destroy Asgard. So the head is printed. There are a couple of stickers that are applied as well. The only other prints that are included are on this chest plate here, just on these two tiled dish pieces here. So they are both prints. This here is a sticker that's applied for his crown. And then we just get some more stickers here. There are 4 of them in total, just all applied on the same pieces in different ways, just to create that sort of fiery molten effect on those bits there. I feel like they could have made those prints. The sword piece, this section here is done really nicely. It's all just one solid mould, but it's got sort of a bleed going through the middle of it to create that darker orange. But the primary colour is this translucent orange, and it just has 2 of these Technic axle connectors on it. Just connects up to the hilt like that, and that just goes in his hand. It does only fit in one hand. He's got this Technic piece here that's built inside the hand, so it will only go in one hand. I guess if you wanted to, you could reverse the reverse this and pop it on the other side. But as you can see on his other hand, it's just left open. And then we do get this chain piece as well, so you can wrap Thor up if you want and just have him dangling from the chain. He's a pretty solid brick-built figure. He's got some good articulation, get some great posability out of him. He's got a lot of these Mixel style ball joints. He's got more down at the ankles there. The legs are using those solid moulded pieces that they use on a lot of those mechs, all of the mech toys that they do now. So his legs are just sort of preset in that slightly bent knee effect. But you can sort of manipulate it so it does look like he's standing up straight. It's not too bad in terms of posability. And then the arms again have more of those mixel style ball joints. So you get great posability out the shoulders. You can just move these shoulder pads out of the way to aid with the articulation. And then he's got ball joint down there at the elbow, and then he's also got one at the wrist. So there's plenty of different poses you can get him into. The head, this piece is on a Technic pin, so you can rotate that all the way around. And then this crown piece is on like this weird sort of triple hinge, so you can bring it all the way down like that, but obviously to create the angles and the effect of him actually wearing it, that's how that's done. Obviously it does look a little bit ugly from the side, but if you're looking at it dead on, it's about as close as they're going to get really with the pieces that they've got available. Just going to turn our attention to the back of the figure here. So this is one of the play features that I mentioned earlier, and it's just one of those Technic axle connector pieces. So if we bring in the translucent bar piece that I showed you earlier, and we've now attached this little piece into the middle of it there, what we can do is, utilising this, we can plug that into here to create that little stand. And then if we bring in Thor, what you can do, you can connect him up to that little stud that's on there, and then you can have Thor flying above Surtur, ready to strike and knock his crown off his head. Or another thing that you can do if you want to, you can grab this translucent blue cone piece and attach it to Mjolnir. You can attach that to the stud, either one that we get on the sides, and then you can have it where it sort of looks like Mjolnir is coming flying in from behind to catch Surtur in the face and try and knock his crown off that way. And this piece does move around, so you can have it in a number of different orientations if you want. And then obviously you can rotate this piece 90 degrees as well, so you can have it pointing any which way you want really. Plenty of different options that you can do there, so you can have it coming from that angle instead. So yeah, it's just a nice bit of playability. Obviously for the sake of, like, what is it, 3 or 4 extra pieces, it does actually add a lot of value to the set. And there we go, we can have Thor firing a lightning strike down on Surtur in that orientation. So yeah, pretty cool. If you find yourself being successful in taking Surtur's crown and removing it from his head, which is obviously the source of all his power, one thing that you can do is you can remove it from the figure, and then using this chain piece that we get included, you can actually have it connected up to Thor. You can have it strapped up around his back. So I'm just going to show you how to do that, as it is a little bit of a farce and they don't really explain properly on the box how to do it. So firstly, what you want to do is just wrap the chain around one of these little horn pieces here. I'm going to bring it all the way around, and then I found the best way to do it is by connecting that into there like that. And then if you take the crown piece and you want the sticker element on Thor's back, so you want it facing his back, and then you can just sling that around there. Just going to lift up his arm a little bit to give us a bit more clearance. And then what you're going to do is, just utilising this stud that we get on the other end of the chain, we're just going to tab that in and connect it up to the other side. Just jig it around a little bit make sure it looks okay. And you do kind of need to keep one of the arms up just to keep that sort of angle to it. Otherwise it'll just drop down and it won't look as screen accurate. But yeah, if you've done it somewhat correctly, as I've done there, you can actually have the crown slung around his back like that. So there is definitely a way to do it. I know I've seen some of the other Lego reviewers have tried to showcase it but haven't really been able to. But that's the best way that I've found of doing it. You want to make sure that the sticker element is pressed up against the cape there, and then use those stud connections there on the back of this piece to hold it all together. Yeah, it creates for a pretty cool look if you've done it somewhat correctly. And then with Surtur, I know obviously in the film he just sort of disappears once his crown gets removed, but this being a brick built figure, it's not so easy to do that. So what you can do is you can just, this piece will be connected up like that, as that's what connects the crown. So what I like to do is just connect it the other way, and then you can just fold it down to the back like that, or just remove it entirely. It's completely up to you. And that's what it looks like without his crown. So yeah, it's definitely not as cool without it. Just bring in the fire demons as well. We can be chasing after Thor as he tries to make a break for it with the crown. So there we go. There we are then, guys. That's the review for the Lego Marvel Thor vs Surtur set. Just a couple of brief little facts for you about the set. So it retails here in the UK for £24.99, and it does have 245 pieces. You do get 3 minifigures. Obviously you get the main man himself, Thor, and then you get 2 of those fire demon skeletons, which, if you want to regard them as minifigures, you can, but they're not really. They're just little skeleton builds. And then obviously you get the main buildable figure that is using the majority of the pieces, which is Surtur himself. As I said, you get some nice prints. It would have been nice if the smaller pieces were printed as well, because obviously for the younger Lego builders, it's going to be slightly tricky to get those stickers on those pieces without fudging them up too much. So it would have been nice if they just did all prints. But yeah, sadly not. There are 5 stickers in the set. In terms of the figure, I think he's got great posability. He doesn't look exactly as he's supposed to in terms of his on-screen appearance. But I think for the purpose of it being a buildable Lego figure, it's perfectly fine. And it is nice to see them reusing that Eternals head sculpt piece, as I'm not really sure when we're going to see that show up again. The skeleton minifigures, the fire demons, they do have quite cool face prints as well, which you could definitely use in other sets if you wanted to, for your other sort of little themes and builds. And as I stated earlier when I was doing it, you can also fit the crown onto Thor's back using that chain. The Thor minifigure is really good. I love all the additional little accessories that you get with it. Just a handful of extra pieces, but they do help to sort of set the scene a little bit better. So let me know down in the comments if you've picked this set up for yourself, or if you're planning to. I'll post a couple of pictures on Instagram, just going sort of step by step on how to do that crown piece, as it is quite finicky. And you can always re-watch this video if you want to see how to do it. But you can definitely get it on his back with that chain and have it looking somewhat screen accurate. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming reviews. Going to be working on some more Transformers stuff pretty soon, as we've not really been doing a whole lot of that recently. So yeah, stay tuned for more Transformers and also more Lego. With all that being said, thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.